James here, and I'm going to talk about coping in the three-dimensional world when you're going through this awakening, because there's a lot of you asking questions about how to cope, and there seems to be a general trend that you're all going through, myself included, in all this. So I suppose the best way I can talk about this is totally unscripted. The only way I can talk about this is, I suppose, from personal experience, and I'm seeing parallels with a lot of people from comments and direct messages to me. Right, where do we start? I suppose this awakening normally starts in a very dramatic way. For me personally, it was thinking I got indigestion. This was back in 2012. Trying to think now. I think it was about, February of 2012. I'd had a big meal, scampi salad and chips at a pub I hadn't been to for about 10 years after coming back from seeing my children. Felt a bit uncomfortable. I thought, oh, I've eaten too much, shouldn't have had all that. But as you do sometimes with food, you think, oh, I'll just have that bit more. And that's because at that stage I wasn't in tune to listening to what my body was telling me. The body will tell you it's full way before the brain even knows it. It takes about 20 minutes for that to register, by which time you know what it's like. You have a meal and you think, oh, I could eat that again. If you're out in a restaurant, when it's actually put in front of you, look at it and think, actually I can't eat that now. Because it's taken that time to actually register with the brain. So anyway, I've got home and I've no indigestion tablets. I thought, oh well, I'll sleep this off, be alright in the morning. An hour later, I've woken up. I've gone to the toilet and I thought, this is it. The incredible pain in my chest, I thought, this is a heart attack. And in that brief moment, it's true, your whole life flashes before you. And in my mind I was thinking, oh my God, that's it. That's my driving licence is gone. I'll never be able to drive. What am I going to do for work? How am I going to support myself? And all in that brief second. And it's a life-changing event when that happens. I was sent a video, which I should have made a note of. I'm going to put it in the description on YouTube. I'll have to find it again. See, once again, I've not made any notes. So I could kick myself now, but sod it, I'm going to carry on. So that was the sort of really the start of it. There was hints before that, and it wasn't really until November of 2014 I sort of sat down on the end of the bed and I said, okay, bring it on. I'm obviously being pushed in a certain direction. I'm not going to resist this anymore. And within seconds I had a flood of information come into my mind, personal things about myself that I wanted answers to, which then suddenly made sense. Now, in this other video this guy has done, he talks for about 6 or 7 minutes. It makes it very clear, and it's funny because it's more or less what I was going to be saying on this. So it's another thing that's happening with a lot of you, the synchronicity. You'll think the same things as other people, normally at the same time. You might know when they're going to message you, you might know who's on the end of the phone before you've even answered it, or if it comes up on a caller display. It's just a knowing. So anyway, there's the chest pains. That's one symptom. This ringing in the ears, that's another big one. I've found increasingly when I'm talking to other people, it gets stronger and stronger. I believe I said on Facebook that it seems to be some sort of language. I've tried tuning into it, but again, it doesn't equate into our five sense realm. It's a mixture of all the senses, but it's far removed that I can't actually make out what we would describe as sound or in the terms of words. But it certainly gets stronger when I'm connecting with other people. Now, you'll probably find that whatever blood group you are, you will connect most strongly with people of that same blood group. So it's mostly A negatives I connect with, but it's not exclusively. There are people who have Rh positive blood, O positive, I think A positive. I'm not going to mention names, that's not fair on them. But yeah, you've got this connection going on. Now, another part of this I'm seeing, you end up with this feeling of being very isolated. There's no one in the physical world to talk to, because let's face it, we're all scattered around the world. We can't contact each other really apart from through social media, or as things get stronger, telepathically, I believe is happening more and more. I'm certainly experiencing it, that side of things personally, where you're knowing what the other person's thinking, you're aware of them, it feels like they're in the same room at times, almost like most people would think is a ghost. Another part of this, which I do experience, is anxiety, depression, which, by the way, eat a handful of cashew nuts, say maybe once a week. Now, you won't feel any different, but if you stop taking the cashew nuts, that's when you'll know that they are working. It's basically like Prozac, but without all the harmful side effects. What else is there? This general tiredness. Now, this last week, for 3 nights, I've had 2.5 hours sleep. Last night I had, what did I have? I think I had 6 hours. The night before was just under 3 hours sleep. It doesn't seem to make any difference. You wake up. I remember when I used to wake up and my body felt refreshed. Now I wake up and my body just aches. Every joint aches. Some days it's more painful than others, but I've just got used to it. It's the new normal for me. It's DNA let's get this word right. Reactivation of your DNA. And these human body shells are quite fragile. So this is why it's all happening at a very slow pace. There are days where nothing seems to happen, and other days I can just feel this energy. And we have definitely entered a new phase. Again, another video I happened to see tonight, about 7 minutes long, 20 minutes long, talks about this. I mean, this is a huge one coming. This is the tsunami of the spirit world hitting us. And July is going to be a pivotal month for a lot of you. You will start making new connections, change careers, probably change partners maybe, or get a stronger relationship with your existing partner as well. There's no set rules, we're all individual, but there is a commonality to all this, I'm finding, and there's a lot of synchronicity with different people. I'm hoping that through talking about my experience, this is going to help you as well. So coping in the 3D world. The way I've personally done it, I'm now a full-time carer for my mother, so I've removed myself as much as possible from going into the outside world. I go out into nature in the garden. Today I've spent 12 hours out there and loved it. I've switched off from Facebook, I've switched off from everything. It's like I'll check the messages and things in the morning, and then during the day I can't see the phone out in the bright sunlight. They haven't put the Kindle technology on the phones yet. I wonder why. Maybe to make more money out of us. Well, sod it. I'm not falling for that. I'll wait and I'll look later. I don't need it all instant. There's certain people I connect with and I can just tell if there's something wrong. And they're coming to my mind. And I think I need to contact them. Sometimes I'll just see a comment on Facebook and there's an energy that I can feel from that person and I think I need to contact them. I don't know why, but it comes out in conversation and it's two-way traffic. As much as I help them, they're helping me as well. And how do I put this? It's, as this other video said, it's curiosity is the inroad into this, and a willingness to be open to accept and be open to new ideas, because we're not dealing with something in black and white. It's physical, it's here, I can see it, so therefore it is. We're dealing with an unseen realm, but because your senses are opening up, you're now operating on a much wider frequency, so you're bringing in a lot more information to yourself. Some of it is going to feel very strange to start with. I wouldn't go in too much at once. I mean, the collective or higher consciousness won't give you more than you can handle anyway, which is probably a good thing. An analogy here I would say is one of the Indiana Jones films with I think it's the finding the Ark of the Covenant and all these alien beings and saying, I want all the information, tell me everything you know, and basically their head explodes from an overload. And there is a real possibility if you get the information too quick, obviously your head's not going to actually physically explode, but I should imagine it would drive you nuts. So part of this, I would say, you've got to pace yourself like with everything in life. Just go with the flow. Go from what this is telling you. If it feels right, it is right. If it feels wrong, it is wrong. That is your best guide. It's within you. Everything that is happening, if all the changes are from within you and your willingness to be open and accept. It's your personal choice. You are in control of what you want to do with this. You're on a path, yes, but it's your willingness to be open is going to make all the difference with this. Because I believe in life, you go from A to B, but it's how you get from A to B is down to you. You set the pace as much as anything else. So, I mean, I haven't got the manual as to how this is all going to pan out. I can only tell you from my own experience, and I'm hoping it's going to resonate with you. I'm certainly not going to go out there and try and get people to awaken. You can't force anybody to do anything. They have to do it from their own choice. You have to, I believe, well, I see it, you have to go through this curiosity and this willingness and then get to almost a crisis point where you're desperate for this to happen, and then things will happen. It's the energy you send out is the energy you will come back to you, and likewise this energy you're sending out will attract the same people back to you. Now, another big point or another big part of this I'm seeing with this isolation. Now, if you were to talk to just anybody, you can see it straight away in their eyes. They glaze over if they don't believe you, and it's like, what are they talking about? Because they're not open at all. Part of this process is you have to unlearn everything you've been told is true and be open and willing to accept the possibilities of things you haven't done before, like entities from other dimensions. There's one example. Now, you go to Joe Bloggs in the street, he's just going to laugh at you if you say that. It's a complete waste of time because they're not willing or open to even look at this. They have no curiosity. That in their minds everything is as it is. They are the asleep ones. It's personal choice they have to come to that decision. That higher consciousness may jolt you on the path initially. That's certainly the way it happened for me, although there were hints all the way along from day one in this life, that's for sure. It's coupled with memories of past lives I have as well, and I know some of you have that as well. But another aspect to this, with this feeling isolated, is you will probably find you are the black sheep of the family. Nobody else in your family is going through it, and they think you're actually stark raving bonkers. And it makes you withdraw back into yourself. But I would say the best way to cope with this is to isolate yourself from the physical world, from the television, from the media. Don't worry about all the political stuff and the horrors. Just concentrate on being proactive with what you can change around you. Create the universe you want around you, which is the way I'm doing it for myself. And from that, I'm connecting with other people. I'm seeing this, basically the best way I can describe this, it's like standing on the edge of a cliff and just letting yourself go with a knowledge that there is a great big hand that is going to catch you. Now, I'm not saying actually try jumping off a cliff, because fear will set in, I should imagine, especially if you don't like heights. But I would, metaphorically, it is jumping off a cliff and taking that leap of faith in all this. And I can testify that it, for me personally, it's working, and I would say go for it. If possible, if you're in a job that you're not happy in, I know there's obviously the problems of living in this world if you've got a family to support, but as much as possible, try and change your job. If you can, take a pay cut. Now, I know I've said this before in one of the other videos, but it's worth reiterating this. Try and make life as easy for you and as stress-free for yourself as possible. Because if you reduce the stress, you're not worrying about things, where the money's coming from, where your next meal is coming from. It will happen. By some sort of unseen force, things seem to happen. That's the only way I can describe this. It's just having a willingness to accept it. At the end of the day, it's down to you individually how you deal with this. But with this isolation from your family, in many ways, that's the physical, biological family. What is actually happening is the complete opposite of what it seems, because you're seeing it with the five senses, but stand back from it. See it from a new perspective. Think of it this way. You might be becoming isolated from your biological family, but you're connecting with people, often of the same blood group, and you're connecting with your soul family. So don't think you're alone out there, because you're not. You just send out the energy, people will contact you, or you'll feel compelled to contact them. And this is how this thing spreads. If you think of the way positive energy works, it doesn't go out on the attack. It's almost impartial. It's working behind the scenes. And all I can say is, this is just awesome. We're approaching one of the biggest events ever known in well, I was going to say history, but if we can, I don't know how much of history we can actually trust from what we've been told as being true. But yeah, this is just absolutely fantastic. And watch what happens over the next few months to you personally. You'll feel some very strange things, and you'll sense some very strange things if you're willing and open to go with it. But it's going to be awesome. It really is going to be a wonderful experience. Don't worry about New World Order and Agenda 21 and all that crap and number sequences. So what? I'd say if you really want to help yourself, balance yourself as much as you can. Get out there in nature. I mean, especially as we're coming up to into summer and this beautiful weather like we've had here. I mean, I'm being outside. I'm getting this quite sort of tanned now without trying. I mean, that isn't the intention, but this is the first time I've been out in the sun like this for several years. But that you get vitamin D from the sun, it's a food source for this body, and it really does make a big difference. I feel so much better for it, and I'm sure you will as well. Well, again, it's personal choices. That's the best way I can describe this. I'm hoping this is going to help some of you. With the anxiety, if you think of it like a medium being contacted by spirits all the time, this is at an energy level. Now you imagine going out into a large crowd and you're picking up on their energy. This is the thing. It's awful. It's like everybody talking at once. You feel bombarded by it, and it brings on a panic attack as well. So I thought, well, I'm going to go with the flow with this. I can't work like this. I don't know when it's going to happen. Well, I get a sensation, and there's some days and think I've got to go out there and think this is not going to be a good day to go out. But as much as possible, I've tried to eliminate the stress side of it. I would recommend watching this video again. Make a few notes as you go. Come and talk to me. Or just post something on the groups you're in Facebook. Reach out to people and see what comes back. And you'll be surprised. You're going to find your soul brothers and soul sisters, and you'll find you're part of a huge family. And that is a wonderful experience as well. This is what life is all about. It's all about experience. So let's make them good experiences, yeah? That's the best way forward. I've never felt happier in my life, ever. And yesterday was my birthday. I was overwhelmed by the fantastic comments. I felt loved, and that is brilliant. And yeah, just go for it. Just go with your intuition, yeah? Don't worry about trying to awaken people. They'll awaken when they're ready. As simple as that, really. And we'll just see where this goes. I know it's going to be exciting. So just stay calm and you get through it. If you've got the willingness to, you'll get through it. Okay? Thank you very much.